Adventure Time with Fionna and Cake. The last 2 episodes of this beautiful series are finally out. Spielfeld Adventure Time. And look, it's been quite a saga here on the channel. But we already have it on the channel. More than 30 videos about it, okay? Until live, my first live was about Fionna and Cake, okay? So, here's a lot of content for you to watch, okay? It's a complete playlist, okay? With the summaries of all the episodes, okay? Not just the Fionna and Cake series, but all the episodes they've been in, appeared in Adventure Time, in the main series, okay? And now you're going to see the summary of Episode 9. You'll see the summary of Episode 9 and also after Episode 10, okay? It's the same video that I'll be using for both of us. And thank you very much for coming here. The channel has grown drastically because of Fionna and Cake, so I just have to thank you for being here, okay? Even though the series is over, I'll still be bringing you lots of content about Fionna and Cake, okay? I took a break from the channel precisely because I work as a photographer and didn't have much time this week to bring you videos about Fionna and Cake, okay? But I'll be bringing it, okay? Let's go to the video, without further ado, and let's go.
The episode begins, and we see Fionna lying down and realizing that she has returned to her world and everything was magical. We see Prince Gumball, and Cake appears, and the two of them hug happily. They go to the city and enter Jerry's bakery, where they see him in the form of a sweet monster and sweet versions of themselves as well. They go outside and see Marshall in vampire form, causing chaos in the city. They go back home and Fionna opens the fridge to find Simon looking strange and frozen. Fionna wakes up at the roller skating rink and mentions the dream, but Cake had the same dream. Some individuals mess with Cake and she uses her powers. Cake turns into pants and puts herself on Fionna, but they are kicked out for not wearing skates. They see a squirrel and, after that, they see Marshall and Bubblegum holding hands. Fionna asks what it means, and Bubblegum asks what happened to her for disappearing. She tells them about their world being inside someone's head, but they don't believe the story. Cake uses her powers, shouting Simon's name, and he wakes up in a new place. He sees Lumpy Space Princess kneeling and praying. Simon appears and kicks him, asking what he did, but he is ignored. Lumpy Space Princess continues saying that he fulfilled his purpose in his world by ending all life, losing his purpose, and starts screaming in frustration. Simon realizes where they are, Gob shows up, and Simon asks about Betty. Lumpy Space Princess screams, demanding answers and asking what Gob wants from him now. Gob lifts him up and turns him into a block. Simon starts talking about trying to help Betty, feeling sad, apologizing, and mentioning the ritual and how he met 2 special people who deserve a second chance. He puts the crown on his head and is taken somewhere else. We see Shimmer and Barry running from soldiers, almost getting caught. They start walking, and suddenly Shimmer becomes strange. Simon realizes that he has been taken to another reality and starts questioning Betty. Barry asks why he is acting that way, and he explains that he came from another world, but she doesn't believe it much. They head towards the library, where Simon and Trancy are, and the beetle wakes up in that dimension and realizes Gob is there. It goes in front of Simon, who was standing still, and was going to attack, but Gob turns him into many small ones and doesn't let him touch Simon. They escape to Simon's head. Fionna and Cake are explaining what happened to the couple, and they wonder if everything changes if they can still be together. Fionna doesn't know how to explain and explains what they were before. Cake says they have tried to kill them in another dimension, shocking the couple. Bubblegum says he doesn't want to forget anything, and they think that if Simon thinks they are together, it might happen. Fionna tries to find ice to access the portal, and they find it, and the beetle appears. They start stepping on them, and many of them appear in the city. Meanwhile, Simon asks about the magical crown. They enter the library and see some strange things, making their way to the books. Simon transports himself to get the books while Barry keeps guard. They hear a noise, but Simon finds the book and the origamis appear. They start running from there and manage to escape. The others try to get rid of the beetles, and Fionna takes the crystal that was in one of them. Hunter appears to help and Fionna comes up with a plan to trap all of them. Prismo tries to free himself, and the beetles are trapped in Fionna's house. They realize that they can't get rid of him since he is immortal. Marshall asks what they are going to do with them, but Fionna doesn't know what's happening. Fionna feels uneasy and tries calling her own phone, but Simon doesn't answer. Simon Shimmer grabs the right book, and after struggling to open it, they realize it's like a game, leading to the crown. They start playing, encountering difficulties in the levels. Meanwhile, Fionna tries to call and Cake turns on the TV. Fionna decides to go back to the portal, and everyone follows. Kuroko is there and gets tricked, releasing everyone and forming the beetle, who appears angry. And that's how the episode ends.